So I've been running through these combats here along these zones as the Catholics attempt to push their way across the stream here. These guys were able to eliminate one of the little skirmisher units. I forget what they're called again. The Les Enfants Perdus. One of these guys was guarding up here and got eliminated by this stack as they pushed across the stream there. These guys were unable to budge those guys, and these two stacks here, you can't combine attacks, but you can attack in sequence, and that will start to give you bonuses as you continue to hit the same area over and over again. So these guys here pushed across the bridge and did a step loss to the stack. These guys here did the same, and now we've moved down here to these guys who appear to be pikemen, and pikemen have some special rules for them, but we've got him set up, and then there's 3 support units that are also in that space. The spaces are a little small if you've got a big stack, especially because the way you're supposed to organize these is by lead attacker and then any supporting units. So it's always one unit on each side that's driving the combat rating that you're working off of. So here we've got these arquebusiers here that are dismounted. They've got a Les Enfants Perdus detachment. So you're looking at a base 3 combat value plus 3 support units for an additional plus 3. Gives these guys a 6. They are under attack orders from Brissac over here because they're part of his column. That gives them an additional plus 1, so that bumps them up to a 7. They are a C quality unit against a D quality unit, so that gives them another plus 1. They're now at 8. And these guys are defending at 2. Pull up the combat modifier chart here. They're attacking across a solid yellow line, and those are arquebusiers there that are defending. Or they're dismounted Argulets that are defending, actually. So they get no combat bonus. If we look at our combat column here, these guys are dismounted Argulets there, and you scroll down to the solid yellow, and you get a big fat 0. So nothing for them. So they're defending at a 2. There's no terrain bonus. They do have a supporting unit here, which should give them a plus 1. Let's make sure the Les Enfants Perdus can count as support units. And it looks like combat reaction, may never retreat, may carry out combat, they do not provide nor receive support. Okay, that makes sense, because it would be sort of gamey if you could detach a unit and then use that unit for support. So these guys are still at a 2. This is the first attack on their position. So there's no -1 modifier for multiple attacks on this particular zone. I believe that's the only thing that would apply. So it looks like we were, at 6, 7 for the attack orders, 8 for the quality. So 8 to 2. So 8 minus 2 is 6, so that puts us on the 6 column. We roll. A 4 on the 6 column gives us a 0/1, so these guys lose a step, which I believe eliminates them, because they're already flipped over. They're on the other side of their, on the front side of their counter is the mounted, and then on the flip side is dismounted, so that leads me to believe that they're 1 step. So they are eliminated. Their Les Enfants Perdus detachment goes with them. and that will take the space. So these pikemen will advance across the bridge, and now they are getting onto the flank of this rear guard position that the Huguenots have in place. So casualties over there. So that is a quick example of combat. There was no artillery or anything. There's not actually any artillery in this entire scenario, so we won't see that in this video. But that was just a quick example of some traditional shock combat. And one thing that I actually forgot to do here, there's 2 modifiers that you get off of the terrain chart. First off, you have to look at the type of zone into which the attack is being launched. Is it a 1, 2, 3 or X zone? Which obviously X zone you can't attack into. So all the attacks that I was doing over here were into 1 zones, which doesn't include any modifiers. But if you get into some 3 zones or stuff that's got woods in it and so forth, you'll start to get into some thorny defense modifiers. So there's actually 2 numbers involved here. 1 modifier for the zone, and then down here another modifier for the type of border that you're crossing. So I just wanted to point that out. Alright, we are through the end of the second turn. Not a whole lot has changed. The Catholics do have most of their army on the board now. Some reinforcements here under whatever this guy's name is. So Sol Tavan and Pfiffer. They're now on the board. They would have come on in either of these 2 zones. There were too many guys stacked here in this zone, so they had to come in here. And even then, just out of frame here, there's still 2 guys that they couldn't get on the board on the last turn. They will work their way on once these guys start moving out of these spaces. As we can see here, the Protestants have abandoned the space. They had a couple of casualties. Lost one of their arquebusier units, and the same thing here. They're mounted, whatever you call those guys, argolets or whatever, essentially mounted arquebusiers who can dismount and function as arquebusiers that way. So those guys had been in this space, and now their commander got killed, and he has retreated with his 1 remaining reduced strength unit to here. Or not retreated, but he moved on their movement phase out of this threatened space and over to here. But because he's under hold orders, he couldn't move very far because hold orders add a -2 to your movement. So they're just badly outnumbered. They had the terrain here. The river was helpful. The solid yellow line or the double brown line there give good defensive bonuses. But they started getting outflanked from this side and from up here too. So they have started falling back. These guys have deployed their Les Enfants Perdus, the skirmishers essentially, to kind of screen their withdrawal back towards the main body of the Protestant army with Coligny here. And then following up more, he's got Fontrailles bringing up the rear. He's on hold orders, so he's been moving slowly. He's bringing arquebusiers up behind to try and defend the road here. There are, on turn 4, some more Protestants, Condé coming in, and he'll be under attack orders, and he's bringing some stronger units, but they're still going to be pretty badly outnumbered, so we will have to see what they're going to be able to pull off against all these stacks of Catholic units. So that's interesting, though, how the battle is so heavily weighted down into this lower corner, and I don't see it, short of these guys running off the map, and yet the objectives on the scenario sheet, it's just victory points for killing people. As far as I can see, there's nothing on there about just like getting guys off the end of the map, or getting points for getting guys off of the map. So it's all about eliminating opposing units. So, I'm not sure this is, what we're using the rest of this map for. If I can't see guys fighting way back here or anything. It looks like it's all going to take place just right down here in this corner. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. This is only the second turn. There's 10 turns in the game, so we'll see what happens.